most interesting yontiv on the Jewish calendar. And sometimes when you're sitting around the fire of Rabbi, you wonder exactly where did this yontiv come from. You know, Mele, Purim, we're already settled with Purim, it's a yontiv official. Hanukkah, and then the Deiraisas, Shalosh Regalim, Rosh Hashanah we know is Yom Adin. What exactly is Lag BaOmer? What happened Lag BaOmer? What does it mean? Well, I want to share with you a little insight. In order to understand what is Lag BaOmer, I want to just share a little insight where you see that the Zoyar that was Nisgala through Rabbi, Butzina Kadisha on Lag BaOmer, how does the Zohar affect you and I today, now? How did it change the face of Yiddishkeit to such an extent that Lag BaOmer became one of the major Jewish holidays? In New York City, you should know, I think, the biggest holiday on the calendar for the city of New York is Lag BaOmer. Every single place wants a permit, and every single place is going to do something. Lag BaOmer. So here's the insight I want to share with you. For those who were on Shabbos, we discussed it on Shabbos. But I want to add to it a little bit, and for those who weren't, I stand them vort. The question is as follows. We know, the Torah tells us that a Kohen served in the Beis HaMikdash. Is a Kohen?
Couple of times.
Kohanim get to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, the privilege of being involved in Avodas HaMikdash. And yet, Torah Akdoisha in Parshas Omer comes and tells us there are exceptions to the rule. There are Kohanim who did not do anything wrong. The union of their parents was perfectly right. They are not chalolim. But there's another reason why they may not serve as Kohanim doing the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. And what is that? Any one of Bnei Aaron who has a mum, who has a blemish, is not allowed to go into the Beis HaMikdash. And the examples are Charum, Sarua, Tvalu, Be'enoi, Gorav, Yalefes, Mereach Oshech, which basically means, for example, if the guy's nose is sunken in and doesn't look nice, then he can't serve in the Beis HaMikdash. And if a Kohen has a cataract in his eye, or if a Kohen has some white stuff in his eye, it doesn't look nice, doesn't look good, let alone Shever Rogel or Shever Yod, if his hand is broken or his foot is broken,
a sphere of beard,
he's not allowed to serve in the Beis HaMikdash. Now the interesting part is he is allowed to eat the kochim. And eating the kochim is a big thing. When the Kohen eats the kochim, the Bailim are miskaper. So if you brought a carbon to the Beis HaMikdash and the Kohen ate it, you get kapara. Until the Kohen didn't eat it, you don't get kapara. So the Kohen is a Kohen, on the one hand. And on the other hand, you know what the Torah is saying? Let me just say the equivalent. Imagine you had a sign on your local building, your local shul, or wherever you are, and it says, no handicapped people allowed. Discrimination. What would happen in the United States?
You gotta make a third bathroom.
No handicapped bathroom. In 1990, there was a law in New York that every building has to have an elevator and handicap access, and you're not allowed to discriminate. And Mitamol, the Torah Akdoisha, which is the first document of morality, long before anyone else was involved and knew what emes was, what morality was. The Torah was already moral, and yet the Torah says, if you're handicapped, if your nose is squashed, or anything else that a Kohen has, you're not allowed to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, although you're allowed to eat kosher. What is going on? What does it mean? This vart is a perplexing concept. I don't know if you ever had the question. When you read the Torah, it doesn't make sense. It's one of those things that mamish screams out discrimination. Rahman al-Islam. What does the Torah mean? And yet, there is a vart about this in the Zohar HaKadosh, and Rabbi takes this thing and mamish illuminates the whole thing. And through understanding that we Pasha didn't understand, we didn't get it. When you look at the Torah through simple, basic pshat eyes, you look and you say, what's going on?
$8 an hour.
How could the Torah possibly say that a Yid who's got some kind of handicap is not allowed to serve in the Beis HaMikdash just because of the handicap? You learn a bit of Zohar, you illuminate your life a bit, you see the whole different story. And I want to share the Nakuda. The Nakuda is that the Kohen, it's not Pshat. When Hashem Yisbarach tells you you're allowed to serve in the Beis HaMikdash. So yeah, we think that's amazing. We think that a woman is Nebuch, she's a second class citizen because she's not allowed to put on tefillin, she's not allowed to get an aliyah to the Torah, she's second class citizen. Wer sagt? The Torah tells you, you know what a first class citizen is? Whatever the Eibishter says. If you follow what Hashem Yisbarach says, that's perfection. Perfection is not what you decided is perfection. Perfection is what God decided is perfection. Who said that to serve in the Beis HaMikdash is considered perfection? You know what is perfection? To serve Hashem. To serve Hashem Yisbarach. What we telling the Kohen who's a Baal Mum is, you have a different avodah. You see, some Kohanim have an avodah to serve in the Beis HaMikdash, and some Kohanim have an avodah that the Eibishter said. He didn't say don't serve in the Beis HaMikdash. He said, Reb Kohen, I have for you a different mission, and I need you, please, I beg you. For those who are in the front, there's a lot of seats all around, right here, behind. Behind me there's a whole bench. Two benches. The Kohen, the Eibishter tells the Kohen, he says, I want you. Some Jews need your avoid in the Beis HaMikdash, and there's a whole part of Am Yisrael that's outside of the Beis HaMikdash, and what they need is a Kohen who's going to serve not in the Beis HaMikdash, outside the Beis HaMikdash. And when you appreciate, when we illuminate the Vart, we're going to see suddenly it takes on the life of its own. Suddenly every Yid, when he has Rabbi in his life, when he has a bit of Zohar in his life, is able to see things in a totally different light. But in order to appreciate this Vart of what the Torah means, we need to allow ourselves to go a different, deeper dimension. So let's sing a niggin together, and let's hope to access Torah's Rabbi. Let's hope to access the Pnimius, so that we can experience a different dimension. So that we don't need to answer questions that automatically, nishtak and kasha, the question falls away.
Mine.
What does the Torah mean? Open your hearts.
I didn't realize you.